Every crime made by Eric Cartman in one breath.
Here we go. Murder, prostitution, vandalism, manslaughter, murder by proxy, enforced suicide, animal abuse, attempted murder, attempted genocide, enforced cannibalism, assault, smuggling, drug possession, theft, obstruction of criminal investigation, armed robbery, threatening with a deadly weapon, arson, grave robbing, hate crimes, kidnapping, false imprisonment, unlicensed surgery, terrorism, war crimes, medical terrorism, piracy, breaking and entering, credit fraud, identity theft, hit and run, underage driving, resisting arrest, child abuse, blackmailing, torture, fraud, rape, forceful confinement, contempt of court, vigilantism, false evidence, slander, hitchhiking, theft, and child pornography. Three federal death penalties, 2 life sentences, 273 years in prison or jail, 7 years of mandatory parole, and you have to become a registered sex offender.
Hello and welcome to Smith Explains the Crimes of Eric Cartman. In under 3 minutes, he shot and killed 2 members of the Chinese mafia. He broke somebody's fence, he's TP'd houses, he bashed Kenny's skull in with a frying pan and killed him. He was associated with the death of Scott Tenorman's parents. He forced a doctor's wife to kill herself by sending her terrible messages. He has abused Mr. Kitty on various occasions. Also, he broke Kenny's cat's leg. He was attempting to slowly murder Kyle with a wiffle ball bat. He partnered with Cthulhu to attack several Jewish temples. He forced Scott Tenorman to eat his own parents. As the Coon, he beat up a little girl in an airport. He became the head of the fried chicken cartel when all of the KFC locations in the town got banned. He had cocaine on himself that he intended on selling to the crack babies. He stole the bodies of Mr. and Mrs. Tenorman while Officer Barbrady was still investigating. He threatened 2 kids with a laser gun to take their phone. The Glock that Cartman is seen carrying on several occasions is not legal, for obvious reasons. Him and the other boys didn't want to get caught smoking, so they threw their lit cigarettes near the school, which ended up causing the building to go up in flames. Him and the boys also dug up Kyle's grandma's grave to use her corpse to scare some 6th graders. He coerced Butters into being locked in a bomb shelter. Him, Stan, and Kyle performed home liposuction on Butters to try and get money from a weight loss scam. He formed a drunken Civil War army that attacked and looted and pillaged innocent civilians. He injected his HIV-riddled blood into Kyle's mouth when he was asleep. He sold customers hamburgers that were being stored in his pants because he had Asperger's. He assembled a gang of Somalian pirates to raid several ships. He broke into several people's houses and stole their televisions. He stole his mother's credit card info to buy plane tickets. He formed his own church and used the money from that church only on himself. He hijacked a race car and ran over spectators as well as the pit crew. He escaped from police custody after committing a presumed hate crime and convinced Kenny to drive him to Mexico, leading the police on a high-speed chase. Or about as high speed as you can get on a battery-operated kiddie car. He forced crack babies to play basketball with a bag of coke, and because he was profiting off of it without crediting any of the crack babies, not only is it child abuse, it's also slave labor. He ingested several Vagisil products while at a store with Butters and ran because he realized that Butters forgot to bring the money. He framed Trent Boyette for being the only person responsible for starting that infamous kindergarten fire, and he framed that group of people with supernatural powers into being responsible for the death of Miss Crabtree. He handcuffed somebody to a flagpole and forced them to play a game, jigsaw style. He performed fellatio on Butters while he was asleep. He sued Stan for SA and took full advantage of him in the process, to the point where he tried to not just sue Stan but also the school. He resorted to violent measures several times as the Coon when fighting crime. He went on Dr. Phil and said that his mom fucked him. He hitchhiked from Colorado to DC. Yes, that's a crime in Colorado that at that time could land you up to 2 years in prison. He stole a seat out of Mr. Garrison's car. And he took pictures of his thing and put them on the internet. Man, you really are a sick little bastard, aren't you?